Okay, so today we have the Replacements and Bastards of Young. So I've loved everything I've heard from the Replacements. I think I've done a few reactions by now. Unsatisfied is one of the greatest songs I've ever heard. Anyway, I didn't know what song to go with here. I was thinking of I Will Dare, Androgynous also came to mind, but I decided on Bastards of Young. And yeah, so we're going to get into this, watch the video, talk about it after. I do feel like I'm getting sick, so you may hear some sniffling, so I apologize. But anyway, let's go. Goodness. Big old speaker. Gracious. That was it for that speaker. Okay, so there it is. The video, like I said, I was gonna watch it. I did. What a, I mean, just. Like, you know, nothing going on in the video. There's the speaker, and obviously some guy came in at one point, picked up, I guess, the album that this was on, Tim, and sat down. You saw his cigarette in the shot, then you saw his feet, and then you really saw his feet when he kicked the speaker. And yeah, just kind of a nothing video, which I really enjoyed. Kind of like I don't know, and I guess that really kind of puts home what the whole point of this message is, you know, kind of go fuck yourself. You think we're gonna have a big video here. Instead, you're just looking at a speaker and some guy's cigarette. Anyway, so yeah, like I said, this is holy moly. from the get-go. And it reminds me of Unsatisfied again, as it's one of my favorite songs I've ever heard, ever reacted to, all that stuff. But Paul Westerberg, that opening scream, just sets the tone, like, again, because Unsatisfied had the same thing where he came in with like a scream, I guess I would say. And you talk about scream, there's screaming guitar on this track, the driving drums, especially at the end there, where I forget the personnel who's on the drums here, because it's been so long. I remember Paul, but where is it? Chris Mars on the drums here. I just loved his when he was finishing off there, his speed and his rhythm, obviously. And of course, there was a big, bass guitar on this track. Tommy Stinson was on bass here, and Bob Stinson was on guitar as well. And it does say also Paul Westerberg was also on guitar, piano, and vocals. So anyway, and this is for the whole album, Tim. So it doesn't specify for the specific track. But anyway, I just wanted to get that out there. But like I was saying, this is just a hard song. And I see it's classified here on Wikipedia as punk rock and garage rock. I guess you could classify it as punk, I guess, but it's just, obviously there's like, it just has such a hard sound, and hard, I just mean by, it's just unforgiving. I don't know, it's just the way Paul sings and the way his voice breaks at times, and he has so much passion, and this is an anthem for the youth, of course. We were talking about Bastards of Young, talking about, he's kind of talking on behalf of the bastards, on behalf of the youth that are, done putting up with, I guess, the older generation, you would say. Of course, there was references to kind of the baby boomers, and Elvis, of course, who was their hero. And I know, as my father was, I guess my dad was born in 55. I don't know when the baby boom years ended and all that stuff, but he's old, and I know he loves Elvis Presley. Anyway, and I like, some of Elvis songs, but I understand what Paul's doing here, talking about how that was, Elvis was their guy, and it's just like, it's such a different dichotomy, and, the generations just don't get it, just don't get these kids, the older generations don't get these kids, and, of course, I would imagine, the older generation says it's the kids' fault for that, but anyway, just start talking about the lyrics there a little bit, but, yeah, like I was saying, just a hard, unrelenting, unforgiving sound, and it's just so big, and it's kind of belligerent in a way as well. And Paul Westerberg, he wouldn't win a singing competition, on like the day of like The Voice or American Idol or whatever the hell. But he has such a great sound. He has such great passion, like I said, and just the little breaks in his voice, his screaming, and I have seen that he was named, I think, in a Rolling Stone article, whatever the hell, list. Yeah, he was named one of the greatest singers of all time, one of the top 100. And they did get that right. I have to say, I love his voice so much, and just you can feel everything he's feeling through his voice. He's so good at emoting, of course, and I just can't say enough how much I love his voice. And anyway, and you could see me smile throughout the reaction too, just because his automatically his voice just puts me in a happy mood. And I just love where he's going with this, and talking to the Bastards of Young, talking to fellow people like him, the young people who are kind of going through a lot of stuff, or downtrodden in a way. So anyway, I guess that's all I have to say at the top there. So now we go to the lyrics. That's how it works, I guess. So like I said with the intro, you have the O, and of course it's just the screaming away from Paul, and then we go into the first verse. God, what a mess on the ladder of success. Where you take one step and miss the whole first rung. Dreams unfulfilled, graduate unskilled. It beats picking cotton and waiting to be forgotten. So, of course, I think about, and even maybe Paul and the band talking about their success in a way, and just being young and whatever, a young band, a new band, whatever the hell. But you talk about these people that, graduate unskilled, and just how, the ladder of success is going to be hard for them to, climb. They're not in a good situation here, dreams unfulfilled. It's just like, whatever they're doing, it beats picking cotton and waiting to be forgotten. But at the same time, there has to be something more to life than what they are doing, than what the dream is, or what they're told their dream is. Again, I think of a song like XTC's Making Plans for Nigel. Your parents sometimes, and this might not even be what they're talking about, but your parents might tell you what you need to do in life, or, what you need to do for work. But at the same time, that might not be your dream. And, there has to be more to life than just, picking cotton or waiting to be forgotten, whatever. It's just, that comes to mind. Anyway, going on to the chorus. And I guess this chorus too, because I did see a few people talk about this, and I guess Paul even talked about it once, where he talked about, how it took years for people to realize what he was actually saying in the chorus. And of course, he has that big, it's not even an accent, because I believe, well, American accent, I guess you could say, but just the way he sings it, and that's where I talked about earlier, the belligerency kind of comes into play. I don't even know what you would say. His voice is obviously so goddamn thick, or just, there's so much passion, there's so much fight, there's so much vigor and aggression. Sometimes you might not be able to hear everything he's saying, or hear what he's saying clearly anyway, but apparently what he is saying is, wait on the sons of no one, bastards of young, and that's repeated, the daughters and the sons. And apparently people thought he was saying, we are the sons of no one. But then, like I said, Paul Westerberg said in a quote here, he told Spin Magazine in 2010 that it took years for someone to pick up on the fact that the chorus is, wait on the sons of no one, not we are the sons of no one. He said, I didn't even know that. I wrote it and forgot about it. And then he goes on and talks about how he realized people didn't know what he was saying, I guess. But anyway, I guess, we are the sons of no one kind of works as well, but who, to each their own. I guess Paul was saying, wait on the sons of no one anyway. But again, talking about, we're wait on the sons of no one, talking about how these kids are the bastards of young. And again, bastards, you think about, and I mean, bastard, the first meaning that comes to my mind is when you're a child between two parents who aren't married, whatever, I guess, which it used to be a big deal, obviously, but nowadays I would hope it's not a big deal. But anyway, I mean, I'd be a bastard, but yeah, just talking about how, these kids are just kind of, again, I would say, spit on, and, metaphorically, and how we're just the bastards of young, the daughters and the sons, and we're all in this together, and, we're fighting. This is an anthem for us in a way, of defiance, of, trying to, I guess, be your own people, whatever, and not being told what to do when all this stuff comes to mind. Again, and you talk about Unsatisfied is another song that comes to mind, where it has kind of the same themes here. I'm unsatisfied with this life that I'm living right now. Anyway, clean your baby womb. That's quite the line. Trash that baby boom. And again, I would think about trash that baby boom. I talk about the baby boomers. He's trashing them in a way, and kind of Elvis in the ground. No way he'll be here tonight. And again, it's just so... what's the word I'm looking for? It's just, hold the phone. Cutthroat, I would say, I guess. Again, just talking about it, Elvis is dead. He's been dead by this, I guess, I think this was released in 85, so Elvis was dead for like 8 years at this point. But anyways, kind of saying your hero's dead. Income tax deduction, one hell of a function. I love the rhyming here. It beats picking cotton and waiting to be forgotten. But again, there has to be more to life than this. And again, I like the previous lines where he's kind of going in on the previous generation. And it's kind of the whole thing of like, and he's not really talking about this, but I think about how every generation thinks the generation after them, is worse, or whatever the hell, that whole dichotomy. But then we go on, wait on the sons of no one, bastards of young, that chorus right there again, which he just gives us so much, again, aggression and passion and just piss and vinegar. My God. Then we have the bridge, unwillingness to claim us. You got no warrant to name us. And again, it's just talking about how these people that they're going after, or again, these young people are just kind of downtrodden, or just kind of seen as less than, I guess, adults or whatever. Again, I think about how these kids just don't fit in. They don't fit in with the 80s, really, is what comes to mind. The 80s suck. And in a way of what I feel like Paul is saying. Anyway, and again, you feel today so many people talk about how great the 80s were. But again, obviously, if you were a teenager back then, you might have this, sentiment. Anyway, we look back, obviously, in decades with a lot more, I guess, great memories than when we were actually in them. But again, I wasn't even born in the 80s. So anyway, the ones who love us best are the ones who will lay to rest and visit their graves on holidays at best. Ooh, and again, like I said earlier, cutthroat lyrics, just going right in. And you're talking about, I would think about, family and friends, we, the older, our parents or grandparents, whatever, that love us, will lay to rest and visit the graves on holidays at best, and then kind of forget about them. Again, you talk about being forgotten. The ones who love us least are the ones will die to please. Yes, are the ones will die to please. If it's any consolation, I don't begin to understand them. Again, just talking about how, we don't understand these people who hate, love us least, who hate us, and all that kind of stuff. We talk about the juxtaposition between people who love us and the people who don't. Love us the best and love us the least. I just love how in that verse you get the both sides. Then we go into the chorus one more time, and then that outro, young of young, 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 young. Take it, it's yours. Take it, it's yours. And that's repeated as well. There is an annotation for this part here. Take it, it's yours. And it kind of just says the whole song is about being rejected and turning that rejection into a rallying cry. The last line seems to be talking about Westerberg's answer and rejecting the previous generation right back. So there you go. That's what someone interpreted here on Genius.com. I don't usually read the stuff, but why the hell not on that last line? But obviously the song is full of angst, young angst here, talking about alienation, talking about, again, not fitting in, feeling fed up, and just they wanted to create, Paul and the rest of the band here just really wanted to create such a song that would speak to the young people, the youth who felt all this way. And yeah, obviously I think they accomplished that here, and just talking about again how they felt unsatisfied, if you want to bring that word into it one more time. But and again, what a great title for a song, Bastards of Young. Having the word bastards in a song, I imagine back here in 1985 was probably taboo or whatever the fuck. But anyway, I guess that's all I'm gonna say. So thanks for watching, thanks for liking, subscribing, commenting. It's always a treat coming back to the Replacements. They're one of the best bands I've come across. I always talk so much about Paul, but again, I love, the Stinson brothers here, and I do believe they're brothers. I mean, their last name is both Stinson, but I apologize if they're not. But anyway, of course, Chris Mars, who was also on drums here, and they just created such a hard, big, loud sound, and just unrelenting, unapologetically themselves, and I just love that so much. So anyway, thanks for watching, all the support, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. Another video that's way too long. Good Lord, but I like to talk.